So usually, some of the things that I would say is very important is noticing how your user is, where your user is clicking on the interface. মানে যে টাস্কটা আমি করতে দিয়েছি ও কি ডিরেক্টলি ওই জায়গাটাতেই যাচ্ছে, নাকি ও অন্য কোথাও পন্ডার অপন করছে, ও কি অন্য কোথাও অন্য কোনো জায়গা থেকে কি ও ট্রাই করছে কিনা টু accomplish that task. ওইটা we need to observe. We can also observe body languages, like, does this user have to take the screen away from me, of মানে ওর সামনে থেকে কি স্ক্রিনটা দূরে রেখে ওর পড়তে হচ্ছে, ওর কি ও যে সেন্টেন্সটা পড়ছে, ও পড়ার পর কি ও এট আ গ্ল্যান্স কি ও বুঝে যাচ্ছে, নাকি ওর জিনিসটা কম্প্রিহেন্ড করতে কিছু সময় লাগছে. These are like just the behavioral aspects of, like, how a person is interacting with your interface. এই জিনিসগুলো নোটিস করা is very important. If you share the prototype beforehand with your participant, and if you ask them to share their screen, কারণ what tool are you using again to test your prototype? Is it Figma or whichever prototype tool that you use? অনেক সময় যেটা দেখা যায় যে for Figma or Adobe XD, if the participant clicks anywhere besides the place where they're supposed to click, তাহলে পুরা প্রোটোটাইপে হাইলাইট করে ফেলে যে ও মানে হাইলাইটেড হয়ে যায়, যেসব জায়গায় ও ক্লিক করছে না বা যেসব জায়গা অ্যাক্টিভ আছে ওই জায়গাগুলো হাইলাইটেড হয়. So that's when you know যে the participant is not exactly going where you intended them to go first. So definitely what you're doing, what you're suggesting, it is helpful. This is how I've been doing my tests as well, and this is how all my coworkers have been doing their tests as well. So yeah, moderation was the next part. And moderation এ কিছু basics আমরা এটাকে এই জন্য আমি একদম like শুরুতে রাখছি, so that like these are like go to একদম tips for conducting any session. This also can apply for any interviews that we are conducting. This doesn't have to be a usability test particularly, but like je kono interview te, you must always welcome your participant. And then you must also definitely you must try to build rapport with your participant to make them feel comfortable talking to you, because they will be spending a significant amount of time with you, with answering your questions or testing your product. They're basically doing, and you want them to be comfortable because you want more feedback from them. You don't want them to just answer the questions that you're asking, because oftentimes যেটা দেখা যায় যে participant কি কোনো কিছু একটা আমরা যখন দেই to work with or to like use, ওর comfort level এর উপর depend করে যে ও আমাকে কতটুকু feedback দিচ্ছে, কতটুকু open up করছে. So building a rapport, getting to know them better really helps establish that bond before you start your usability test session. So once you've covered that, you can start introducing your test to your participant. First of all, I like to start by introducing myself. I say that my name is Nadia. I work in Grameenphone as a user experience researcher or as a service designer, whichever fits best for the role at that point. And then I explain my role in this session, that this usually how I'd like to put it is it's an informal session. There's nothing like ekhane nobody's being tested. It's completely going to be like a conversation, and the purpose of this test is so that I want my user to give me feedback so that I can improve my product for them to use in the future, so that easily comfortable bhabe pore product ব্যবহার করতে পারে. ওই কারণে আমার ওর কাছ থেকে feedback গুলা নেওয়া. And then I also it's also very important to lay out our expectations with the participant. What we're expecting from the participant. Are we expecting them to talk during the session? Are we expecting them to open up? To what extent are we trying? Do we want them to open up? Oy expectations gula just participant ke bola. Then we also have to mention the duration of the test, like the time it will take for them. And যেটা আমি শুরুতে বললাম যে providing reassurance that our participants are not being tested. Oftentimes যেটা দেখা যায় when we label this usability test শব্দটা মানে হচ্ছে পরীক্ষা, Nobody wants to sit in an exam. We don't like exams. So we don't want our participant to feel pressured by thinking that they're in an exam or they're being tested, because পরীক্ষাটা কিন্তু ওদের না, টেস্টটা কিন্তু actually আমাদের, because we are the ones who build the product. If there is something that the participant cannot achieve or cannot fulfill, that's actually on us, because we probably didn't or we probably couldn't design it the way they're used to or the way they're most compatible with. And this is actually a golden opportunity for us to improve our product even more, because if we're solving problems for this one participant, think about all the other users you might have in your product who could have faced similar issues যদি আমরা এগুলোকে early on address না করতাম. So the whole point of reassuring your participant that they're not being tested, it's us, is so that they can be comfortable knowing that, there is no pressure on them. There is no right or wrong answer to this. They can finish their task, or they cannot finish the task. They can use the product however they want. It's a product for the time being. Prototype is their own. And lastly is the informed consent, like, get the consent form signed, like read the terms and conditions out, যে duration এরকম থাকবে, recordings করা হবে, notes না হবে, and then we're going to use this data for this purpose. এই পুরা consent formটাতে sign করে ফেললে it's good for us, because knowing that we'll be transparent, we're on the transparent side, like and it's also good for the participants because they will know what's going to be done with their data. It'll put everybody to ease.